Madoda! Madoda!
Sanibonani ke babukela bahle emakhaya sibingelela amadoda sibingelela abafana sibingelela abantu besilisa kwindawo ngeindawo lapho nikhona uhlelo ke lakho ke lolo lithanda kakhulu ke lapho sihlala phansi njengamadoda sithi Sukuma Ndoda Sakhe sakhani singamadoda sakhe imindeni sakhe amakhaya sakhe imphakathi siyazi ukuthi makwakheka imindeni kwakheke yona ke imphakathi namhlanje ke ningathuki imbukelo omuhle ekhaya anikalahleki uma nibona mina ngilapha namhlanje ke lolu hlelo lobe liqhutshwa ngimi ke uza kwethu ke ubaba uMacingwane ubambekile akakhona ukuthi ke afike kule nkomfa ke samba indawo zonke kanti ke futhi okuhle ukuthi ke namhlanje sikho ke kwelikamthaniya njoba nazi ukuthi ke siku 1 KZN kodwa namhlanje ke sihambile sile kwaNdonga ziyaduma siyohlangana ke namadoda sizo ukuthi and futhi kwaNdonga ziyaduma singenelele siphakathi eSoweto njengoba kwesiqhelo ke niyazi ukuthi umuzi ongena ihambeli ke uyathakatha la ekhaya ke thina sihlezi sineyihambeli sinamadoda ke namhlanje sinabo baba abazozibika babikelela ababukele bahle emakhaya banitshela ukuthi njengoba sihleli lapha ithini ingqikithi sanibonani madoda sanibonani bobaba
yebo
niyaphila nibahle man ngibona amadoda amahle endaweni yaseSoweto asiqale ngawe mnumzana ubingelela ababukele bahle emakhaya ubatshela ukuthi indoda ubani iyenzani and why are we here.
Okay, hello everybody, igama lami uGuntse Motau, an assistant director from the Commission, assistant director research and policy from the Commission of Gender and Equality.
Baba
Witsepo Leseteli from the West End, Komukhale City, a founder of an organization called Atta Boy Men and Boys Bounce Back Movement.
siyabonga
uJoshua ukamthanyelo ngibuyelena eGauteng from an organization called Men of Purpose focusing on a boy child.
siyabonga kakhulu kusho ukuthi ke ulonke uhlobo lwendoda mbukele ekhaya uzwile ke ukuthi li represented namhlanje ke si women's conference abanye ke baye bathi uthi ya exist nje le men's conference noma izaba zamadoda zokubalekela ukuyothenga amakhadi abovu ngeValentine ngoba siyazi ukuthi men's conference bathi hayi iqala la komhla ka12 iyophela ngomhla ka16 kuFebruary and you are still relevant, we are still in this month. Sicela ukuzwa ke madoda ukuthi namhlanje siku men's conference asiqale ngawe director Ndoda kuna sikhuluma nabo director kusho ukuthi ke sikhuluma nabantu bakahulumeni namhlanje sikhona. What is the importance ya le men's conference? Le men's conference ibaluleke ngani?
Okay, ngiyabonga futhi. The most important part about this conference is the fact that we are trying to find solutions for men-related issues that would speak directly to issues surrounding about gender-based violence and also amadoda or young men who are left out within this story of dealing with issues related to gender. Young men in initiation schools, young men in communities vast out who do not know what they're supposed to be doing with their lives. Siyabaletha manje ukuthi this is your role, especially when we are looking the sketch of gender-based violence. Sifuna ukuyibheka i-role microscopic ukuthi what is the role yamadoda in fighting the sketch of gender-based violence.
Ngiyithanda le ukuthi sifuna ukubheka sisondeze iso lomuntu wesilisa libe seduzana. Asikudlule kancane baba siye lapha ngoba ubaba ubambenye into ukuthi kukhulunywa ngabafana abancane and ngizwa bathi inkunzi sematholeni ngizwa wena uthi nimele abafana abancane. So i-role yenu nina kule men's conference yini?
Yeah, ngiyabonga kakhulu babazitha. I think thina i-role yethu kakhulu in this you see uma ithi ngenze nje isifanekiso uma imvula ina awuyibalekeli. But the same rain mayingahlangana the raindrops kwenza umfula ungawisa ngishindlu. So we're here as different organizations with different knowledge resources asihlanganeni because besikhuluma emakhoneni sisodwa. Let's be a river, let's be a force to be reckoned because the issue of boys and men is no longer a political issue, it's an endemic issue. You see, men are endangered species. You see, you find them more men in prison, find them more men go rehab, find them more men go violence. So it's no longer a joke, it's no longer, but we says it ahlangene nsonke ngoba nami ngenza okwami ngedwa kulela khona bahlanganisa ama-resources in terms of knowledge, bahlanganisa ama-resources in terms of all kinds of resources and research. Sithi simsiza kanjani ubaba, simsiza kanjani umntwana omfana, because we believe that we need to not only to repair, but we need to prepare. Wow. Let's prepare boy child to be a man. Akuzenzakalele. Manhood is not taught, but it's caught. So babamba kuphi lobudoda bafana uma ubaba yena angabazi nobudoda buthu yini, and what are the causes of this, because you always say gender based violence, but what are the causes of gender based violence? Uma ufuni ithele ehlahleni akukusiza ngalutho ukuthi uyishayeziwe ukuthi makuza the next season 7 asithilene nomnyombo wazo noma the root cause of those things.
Kusho ukuthi iqiniso liphelele ukuthi sinabo baba kungesiwa amadoda. Lithini lakho baba nilethwa yini kule nkomfa?
Yeah, thank you very much. Role ya rona really Ataboy Men and Boys Bounce Back movement is to make sure really a coordinated response, because at the end of the day, with all these individual structures, there's a need to have coordination, parallel agreement in terms of making sure that one, Bontate understand a need to have what you call health-seeking behavior. Two, to make sure that you understand that, because in one of the analysis, the fish rots from the head. If the head of the family is not okay, nothing in the family will be fine. So therefore, we want to fix the house from the family.
Inamandla baba ibambe nje lapho ingasilahlekeli siyabuya nje sinathe mandi siyabuya. We want to fix the families kodwa siqala ngokulungisa bani silungisa baba ungayindawo umbukelo omuhle siyabuya. Welcome back mbukelo omuhle ekhaya ukalahleka usahleli nathi ohlelweni lakho lithanda kakhulu Sukuma Ndoda Sakhe swalethile kamadoda namhlanje sithi sukumani madoda msana ukuhlala ngizwile nengoma ithi ubaba ufuna zomthuma ngawezwa amadoda athi thuma mina silake mbukelo omuhle ekhaya sikwi men's conference, not the imaginary one. Sizokutshela ukuthi khona ngempela lento iyayenzeka baba. Before the break utheni na nithatha ke indoda and focus ngithanda leslogan senu sokuthi bounce back. Mhlambe asike singene nje manje kuvutho ndaba into eyinkinga kakhulu emphakathini wethu. Ngizwile nje nalapha phakathi kukhulunywa ngendaba yokuhlukumezeka kobulili ukuthi nina ni what is your response as an organization, and ngiyathanda kakhulu ukuthi organization yenu also seeks ukuthi institutionalize amadoda in our communities, because siyabona ukuthi ke ilona lo usekhoneni lakhe, but we've got the idea ne goal eyodwa. So if amadoda they are institutionalized, siyakwazi ukuthi sibe ne better direction. Mhlambe what influenced le formation yenu, and also mhlambe ukuthi ke nisebenza kanjani nemphakathi ukulwa nalesi sihlava, and what are the outcomes?
Okay, thank you very much, Baba. Let me just give a quick background. Many years ago, I used to work for Artisan and Domestic Abuse Prevention and Training. And when Tatengomani spoke inside to say there is no recording, we were the first ones to run that much the Indian building. And at that time, it was not so popular for men to be working within gender space, because a number of people thought gender-based violence is women's violence.
Yes.
And yet gender-based violence is inclusive of men and boys. So rather all sexes, girls and boys. So our role is to make sure that one, we understand that the upbringing and the socialization of boys contributes to how they behave as adults. Two, the kind of toys that you get given as a child contribute to what you might become as an adult. Three, it is also important to realize that monkey see, monkey do. For a number of families, some of the things we may not be able to could agree with, but they are socio-economically influenced. Fathers are working away from home, and they come home, they are seen as minister of law and order. And therefore, the process in which they do, they deal with the after effects, but not the root cause. They discipline sometimes violently. And therefore, the young boy reads and learns what he sees. Unfortunately, it is very important to also accept that because of single-headed families, there are mothers who are struggling to bring up their boys. And therefore, our role is to say, let us not divide the upbringing. Girls and boys should be brought up together with all the responsibilities. For an example, there is no harm in boys being taught how to deal with the house chores, because then you are able to respect girls and respect the responsibilities, because nobody is going to be married to you if you're not able to do things for yourself, because then you're going to look for an empowered, if not a disguised slave, whereas it's supposed to be your partner. So boys are supposed to be brought up knowing their responsibilities and their roles, and realizing that each and everything in the house can also be done by them, by virtue of being members
It's
of the
very
family.
important, and I think i-society yethu ilimale kakhulu, most yamadoda ilimale kwi-upbringing, and in our black communities mawufika lapha kamdlalo sumthole sebhodweni sithi hey bamshayile lo, kusho ukuthi lo mfazi umdlisile because it is said ukuthi indoda ayikwazi ukupheka inomfazi. So njengoba bakhule babafana bodwa kubo and umama babekasebenza beklina bani, so ilahleka kaphi lento. So asibuye lapha kuwe director, uma ukhuluma nge-CGE mina nje kimi engqondweni ngathi ukhuluma ngesifo esithize, uyabona uyabona nje ngathi ukhuluma ngesifo esithize o ENT. Mhlambe let us also educate our communities ukuthi what is CGE and iyenzani emphakathini le CGE, like you've said ukuthi namhlanje lapha nizokwenzani.
Okay, thank you so much. ECGE, which is an abbreviation for Commission for Gender Equality. I think from that notion, you can tell ukuthi umsebenzi wayo yini is to bring in equality among genders. And this is an institution that was formed years ago. Last year, about 25 years of existence. Yaqala abafazi, when women realized that there is a gap between men and women that was caused by patriarchy, and they came along. And you know that umhlaba uyachinja. As time goes on, umhlaba uyachinja, and that's where CGE also changes to encompassing everybody, because hence the word gender equality, which means the gender part encompasses everybody. Amadoda, abafazi, members of the LGBTQI+, everybody else who is legally attained gender yakhe as per the Constitution of South Africa.
Ngiyavala ngomlomo, yazi ngifuna ukuthi uyephi la khona into ibambeli yalo F we femicide. Abantu besifazane sibabonile esikhathini esiningi lento bayiphushela amadoda ukuthi nina as the commission nidila kanjani ke nge-femicide from one woman to the other. So how do you address that in our communities?
Okay, Tina, as a commission, one of the umsebenzi we commission is to monitor. Unfortunately, we do not monitor communities, but we monitor government institutions in making sure that they deal with what government is supposed to be doing, protecting abantu basemzi. So what do we do? Our role in what you just asked, how do we bridge the gap, is one of the major things that sebenza ngayo research. We conduct research in finding out what are the core issues that are leading to one of the things that you just mentioned, violence, which is something that a lot of people don't talk about, violence against women, that is a woman exerting violence on another woman. You know, so we look at the core issues surrounding that, in having to deal with, okay, this is an issue. For example, issue gender-based violence. When we deal with issues relating to gender-based violence, when do we say it's gender-based violence? We research, okay, we term it gender-based violence when a certain gender oppresses another gender. And one would ask, okay, is it always the men? No, it's not always the men. When a gender oppresses another gender, it can be a woman on another woman. When a woman oppresses another woman, when a woman oppresses a member of the LGBTQI+, that is enforced. And also something that we don't talk about, Ganingi, when another woman oppresses a man. Because so many times there are different forms of gender-based violence that you can break down. So that's what we do. So we monitor government institutions in making sure that they implement and we hold them accountable in making sure that they implement service delivery fully, especially when it comes to issues directly affecting the community. That is what we do. And in that, through research and everything, that is where you find us stationed in all provinces. We have offices in 9 provinces, and in each and office we have what we call Provincial Education Officer, or PEI, where they go out and do advocacy work. They work, most of them do work, that's why we are here. They work with men forums in teaching, into any English. Like I like the fact that you are bringing something totally different in Safundis. One thing that advocacy to Safundisa ngaphandle ukuthi, when we speak of violence, we do not omit other people of the same gender in one room. We don't only speak of violence umasibheka umfazi nendoda, because violence does not, we don't mirror violence. But when we speak of violence, we look at the actual part, the psychological part of violence. Who does it? Ihamba kanjani, and who oppresses the other one, whether umfazi on another woman, holistically. That's what we do.
Ngiyayithanda leyo, ngiyayithanda. Okunye komsebenzi wethu ukuthi siyafundisa la ekhaya Mbukelo Omuhle ekhaya, because what this program seeks to do is to educate communities, i-advocacy siqhubeka nayo ke. Ngizwile ubaba uthi bakhona kuma province, kusho ukuthi nathi njengoba ke si-advocacy ke lapha Sukuma Ndoda Sakhe sesizothola ke umsebenzi wokuba yilabo phi bakho obukhuluma ngabo. Ungahambi Mbukelo Omuhle ekhaya, siyabuya sisazongena sizokuthi ke bathini ngale bafaneni sinathamandi siyabuya. Ziyashisa Mbukelo Omuhle ekhaya, sikuvutho ndaba ka ukalahleki, usahleli nathi sikhuluma ngama PEIA, sikhuluma ngento eziningi ECG. Uyabona nje lama abbreviations, kodwa ke egcineni inhloso yaloko ukuthi ke sikusize Mbukelo ekhaya, sikunikeze ke ulwazi. Ngithe sila enkonfeni yamadoda Riko Mushate wabana sikhuluma indaba zamadoda ke namhlanje, asizweke ukuthi ke nina abafana nithini ngale ndaba yokuhlukumezeka. uCommissioner uBongani waKangomane lapha phakathi ngiyacabanga ukuthi simzwe sonke ethi ikhona this element ye gender based violence enganakeki abafana noma amantombazane lawa semancane, but particularly abafana, because omama namantombazane bayameleleka kakhulu ke many civil society organizations, they are advocating for young women and girls and older women. So bathi abafana sithola ukuthi ke they are neglected noma ababhekwa kulesi sigaba sokuthi nabo bangaze bahlukumezeke ngalendlela. So nalo udaba sikhuluma nge-gender based violence, ithini contribution yenu and yini lenenze nina nabhekana kakhulu nabafana as opposed to obaba?
Yeah. Siyabonga kakhulu. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi umntana omfana or a boy child, they suffer in silence. In many one esakhule nje ngoba uthi esakhule ume elimele makathi uyakhala uma wakhathi uyindoda ungakhala.
Indoda ikhala.
So lama emotions ayapi. Uthi engashaywa noma shawa uma wakhe. Makathi uyakhala but ungakhali. But lama emotions aba build up azabe indoda kuyena ucabanga ukuthi ukusolve ama problems ukuthi uwasolve ngeviolence, because naye bamsolve ngeviolence elokukhulu. So indaba yokusocialize umfana simsocialize ngendlela errong ukuthi anganaki imizwa yakhe. Uthi uba abused in many ways than one. Abe abuser azabe mdalo. If you thinking indaba yasema clinic, ema-clinic ethu akunama-clinic yamadoda la kuthiwa kungena. Uma uthi uyafika eclinic abomama ibona abo-nurse and abakwazi ukuthi banakekele iy'dingo zomuntu wesilisa. Mhlawumbe njengomuntu wesilisa sithe ukuthi mhlawumbe ulimele ngasebulilini bakho, ufuna ukutshela lo mama lo kunzima, noma ufuna ukumtshela ukuthi ufuna ukumhlebela ukuthi sondela mama ngifuna ukukuhlebela, athi baba ngijahile ngiyakhuluma ukuthi kwenze njani, mothi hayi mani ngathi athi nivahamba nifaka nje yabo. So amadoda ukuthi aba abused in many ways than one. See like the slogan manje kuthiwa indoda must. Lokhu kungena nasomntana nomfana ukuthi ukhule nalentombazana makufuneka manje umfana kube uyena must do something, must provide, must protect, must do that. So kuningi umuntu wesilisa noma umntwana omfana abhekene naye okumelene naye ngendlela esimanga. So ngithi mina indaba yomntwana omfana simneglect kakhulu, sacabanga ukuthi angayikhule. Umntwana entombazana uma kushaw 6 sisheshe simbize ukuthi akangena endlini, kodwa umntwana omfana I've dealt with cases zabantu umuntu seyindoda athi mina ngahlukunyezwa ngemncane, but I couldn't take this to anyone. No one could believe me. No one take that as an abuse. So umuntu wesilisa nomntwana omfana they are suffering in silence.
Kuna into ezithunje engiyiphawulayo kule nkulumo yakho. Uyazi bengikhuluma namanye amadoda in one of my constituencies. Ngiyabuza ukuthi emadoda yini imkhaba ingaka? Yibhiya noma yini lenza umkhabeni? Uthi no, yile inyembezi esikhalayo, because bathi men must cry in silence. So le inyembezi izo leze ikhukhumalisa umkhaba. So in your space in our lifetime aseze kuba namadoda nomkhaba, because nithi amadoda mawakhale. And I think enye into elimaza kakhulu wena mfundisi i-religion. Ngicabanga ukuthi i-religion nayo iyalimaza kakhulu. That is where also kufuna ukuthi si-civil society singenelele kakhulu, because it has also taught us ukuthi indoda must provide. Mina ke ngingumfundisi kuze kube namhlanje ngisalifuna, kodwa ngiyacabanga ukuthi ngoMay I want to go to Rome ngiyothola elinye iBhayibheli. Ngithi ngifuna nje ivesi elilodwa ngiya-investa kule trip ngifuna ivesi elilodwa elithi indoda must provide ngoba kuleli lami iBhayibheli angilitholi kodwa nje awukho umshado engeke ngaya kuwo but wena provider for lo mfazi so amadoda angena vele ahlelwe yini ijoko libahlela ukuthi they must provide lithini lakho baba
uyabona mfethu mina I want to say it is not religion but it's interpretation of what we read. Some of us will go through Ephesus where we talk about respect and love. There's no way we talk about what you call provision or men being the providers. Again, when we started, we made a joke around Valentine's Day. So you get brought up again as boys and girls to say certain things are expected to be done by men. So the socialization aspect of it becomes such a challenge that when you grow up, on a date, your manhood will be related to the size of your wallet. You grow up knowing nobody's going to look at you. Therefore, that we call internalized oppression. We tend to do that to ourselves. So much so that if some of us go to a place, and also that's backboard because it's the belief you have, the size of your car, the size of your wallet, your attire, and the type of stuff you're going to be drinking to impress. The unfortunate part.
Just give us
Okay. In short, what needs to happen is that we need to understand boys and girls should be brought up properly. Boys should be brought up to respect umsebenzi and respect women. Girls should also be brought up to respect men and respect themselves. And in that aspect, you are able to treat each other with human attitude, with human attributes, because crying is not an aspect of mama, an aspect of ubuntu. Everybody's got the ability to cry. So you cannot give what you don't have. If I've never been shown love, I cannot come to somebody and tell them I love them. How often as men do we say to our sons, I love you? And
phela hey namanje bathe sibhekane lapho uthi indoda I love you ubona ukuthi kunzimanyana nje sikhule kanzima uyizwile ukuthi inzima kanjani so amagama akho ogcina sesivala ufuna ukuthini emphakathini
from my side, I just want to say men forums partner with, because we mostly here for, we are here for a partnership. Partner with CGE. Why the partnership? It is very important for men to come and relate men's issues and at the same time relate men's roles in eradicating some of the issues, especially relating to gender-based violence. Into engikhalelayo kakhulu abantwana abancane abafana. I was saying inside when I was giving a presentation that today we deal with cases where a young man at an early age of 9 years commits a crime. Iphuleke kuphi? That is where the partnership must come in and we say, Masambeni siwa kumzi. Let's go build a society together as CGE. We do not only just monitor for nothing, but we monitor to make sure that we find solutions for for everybody, inclusive of members of the LGBTQI+. In everything that we speak about, masibafakeni, remember, ebafaneni abantwana bakhona. And the operation happens in every way possible.
LGBTQI+ nabo bakhona bafanele maba sesivale lapho lokugcina
mina sesivala mina ngithi yabona uma izinto singazilungisi lazi zonakala khona siyayidlalela one issue colonization yokuthi ihlukanisa obobaba nemindeni yabo ngemigrant labor bahambe bayohlala le hostel abantu abafana bakhule bebodwa le yasilimaza kakhulu bese sihlala ku 4 room sihlale siminyezana lapha but also the whole issue of economy isi ungabi namali kuyakwatisana uba nenhliziyo encane mongenamali unkosikazi ocela imali awunayo imali so if we don't sort that issue of economy ngicabanga ukuthi mawunemali awukwatakwati yebo mawukwati ugibela indizo uhambe eParis yebo yeah but I'm just saying if singa address the issue ye economy kumadoda sizoqhubeka siyibone all these bad things that are happening.
Siyabonga kakhulu umbukelo omuhle ekhaya luhlutshiwe ke udlube ekhasini sizwele ngapha kuthiwa amadoda they must be empowered anikezwe imali ngoba indoda enemali kuthiwa ayithukutheli ivele ishaye indizi ihambe iyopholisa ikhanda bese iyabuya sizwile futhi ukuthi ke kuthiwa amadoda they need to have opportunities kodwa ke likhona ke ishilo ke namhlanje livuliwe engikuthanda kakhulu nangu CGE uthi let us come into partnership siyobalandelela lento abayikhulumela baze bayenze kodwa kubalekile mbukelo omuhle ekhaya ngithi siqhubeke nayo lento yama men's conferences bathi ke namhlanje siyehla siyaphansi emawodini ngithi siyoqala ukurecruit ekhaya ubabona abafana abawu5 kusho ukuthi usunama member eparliament awu5 ke wena asibathathe labafana siqhubeke nabo siyobenza amalunga namadoda aqotho ligotshwa lisemanzi inkunzi isematholweni up until next time same place